Ahoy there, and welcome to Pirates Parley. I'll be your captain for this visit.
And I'll pour the drink.
Arguably the most important job. Today we'll be looking at Ascension Skulls and Sails.
The pirate-savvy deck-building game by Stoneblade Entertainment.
So pull up a chair and we'll deal you in. Let's start with the board. So lay it out and turn it this way.
Each player starts with 7 apprentices, 2 militia, and 1 buccaneer. He's the new guy in the setup. Shuffle those 10 cards and deal out the usual 5-card starting hand.
Now back to the board. Place the heavy infantry, mystics, and cultist as in other versions. Yeah, you know these guys. Most of the gameplay will be familiar to you if you've ever played Ascension before. But here's a few spicy new additions.
The Kraken.
Take Thukel and place him down in the deep. You'll notice that there's an inner track and an outer track. Aye, the center row has become the circular row.
Shuffle the main deck, then be the ones with the black and gold borders, and place them in the center deck space. Then deal 6 cards to that outer ring.
Well, this is highly irregular.
There's also a few things to watch for when filling and refilling these spaces. If you deal a treasure card, deal more cards until you get a non-treasure card. Anyone who acquires or defeats this card moves the treasure in front of them.
Also, if there be a monster, check for the Fate keyword. Then follow the instructions. The effects may be somewhat unkind.
You'll also need those honor tokens. 30 points per player as before. Then pick a first player.
Now, give each player a ship. Player 1 sets their dial to 0. Player 2 sets to 1. Player 3 to 2, and onward and upward.
Now on your first turn, pick a space on the inner track to place that ship, and the game begins.
When it's your turn, you'll mostly be playing cards to create a pool of rune and power points, which can be spent to grab cards from the center row, and or the always available cards at the top.
These cards go straight to your discard pile normally, and are replaced immediately. If you defeat a monster, gain the printed reward and send it to the void, then replace it as well. And if you attack the cultist, he stays put, but you get an honor point.
The Buccaneer and other cards generate crew points. These are added to your ship's wheel and stay in play, even if you don't use them, which is a new feature.
Now, when you are adjacent to a card, you can spend said crew points in lieu of the rune or power cost of the card to acquire or defeat it, which is nice.
And if a card has the anchor keyword when you adjacently acquire it, then you get the printed effect as well. You can move your ship 1 space per turn, unless you play a generous card that states otherwise.
And there's another reason to keep moving. The Kraken. If you end up on the space next to Thukel, even if you're just passing through, you must give up a treasure card to the beast. Brutal.
There's also the business of raiding. If you be on the same space as another ship and play a card allowing you to raid, just relocate one of their treasures to your keep. Plunderer's choice, mate. Take the shiniest.
The constructs are still a thing as well. If you play one, just place it in front of you and enjoy its ongoing effect.
And in the case of the Echo keyword, check your discard pile for cards matching that card's faction. If there are any, take the extra effect.
Now eventually someone may decide to take on the great sea beast below. And when that happens, take all of its treasure for your own. And move the Kraken card in front of you. You now are the Kraken. You get all of its strengths and none of its weaknesses, meaning you gain its card effects, but it can no longer be defeated. Any played card that refers to the Kraken now refers to you. Best print up some new business cards.
When your turn is done, follow usual protocol. Discard your played cards and any remaining in your hand. Then draw a new hand of 5 cards, reshuffling the deck if necessary, and stare at the player at your left. It's now their turn.
The endgame is also the same. When the final honor token is taken, finish the current round and tally things up. Count up all the honor points, and buy the winner a drink. Hopefully that winner is you.
Now we're hard-pressed to find any real fault in this game. When it comes to deck builders, Ascension is a name you can trust. But I will say that there were moments when I questioned the necessity of the ship and board system. Often there's no real reason to move from your current space, and if you suddenly begin moving, it's a good sign to your opponents that you're up to something. But mostly we found that the new features added more options and strategy to the game, so we're not overly bothered.
Since the Buccaneer card gives 2 kinds of points per flop, it will likely be the last you'll wish to banish, especially since the crew points are hard to come by. So expect many of the usual dilemmas, but in new ways.
Also, when a player becomes the Kraken, they become an absolute menace. The best you can do is run away, because that player cannot be attacked and will, I repeat, will take all of your treasure, 1 turn at a time. So if a pirate be destined to become the Kraken, make sure it's you, mate.
The game is mostly in the cards, so there aren't many rules to learn, which leaves more time for playing.
And that's that. Thanks for stopping in for Pirates Parley. We'd like to thank you all for watching, and especially those of you who click such buttons as like, subscribe, and comment. Though that last one does require a few extra clicks for maximum effect.
We'd also like to thank Stoneblade Entertainment for the review copy and for making a pirate-flavored expansion at all. We are big fans of that, matey.
Hoist your pints to good gaming, mateys, and we'll see you next time.
If you defeat a monster, gain the printed reward and send it to the void.
Well, up until that point, you were on a roll. Tell me about this void. I want to go. What are the drink specials like?